Hello everyone, it's the World Cricket Chat where we talk about everything cricket, except probably Sachin Tendulkar, Tanmay Bhatt and viral videos. But I'm Suneer Chowdhary here, your cricket expert for this podcast, and I have with me our tarot reader Shruti Chopra. Shruti, how are you?
I'm doing well, Suneer. How are you?
Well, what are we looking at today, Shruti?
Suneer, we're looking into Worcestershire versus Yorkshire, taking place on the 3rd of June. It's early stages yet, but how are Worcestershire looking for you?
Well, Worcestershire have made a good start to the competition, as you know, registering 2 wins in as many games to take the early lead in the North group of this points table. Tom Collar-Cadmer, 127 in the first game, helped them pile up 225 in the 20 overs against Durham before Joe Leach picked up a 5-4 in that game. Quite a rarity in a T20 game to see both a century and a 5-wicket haul. Then they overcame the Ian Bell-led Warwickshire by chasing down 156 thanks to a rapid-fire 38-ball 62 by Brett D'Oliveira. D'Oliveira, incidentally, is the grandson of the former great English cricketer Basil D'Oliveira, who has lent his name to the trophy that England and South Africa fight for, Shruti.
So, which players do you think could be a standout for Worcestershire?
Well, in this game, I quite like the look of D'Oliveira. His figures in T20 cricket are also pretty good. Hits the runs at a strike rate of nearly 150. He hasn't scored too many runs, but his average of 37 tells me that it's not easy to dislodge him when he comes down the order. And he regularly bowls his leg spin at an economy rate of 7.4, which is a good thing too. He's one player to watch out over the time. Incidentally, he has shown early form in their 4-day cricket tournament as well, the county championship, having been promoted to the top of the order, and there will be more pressure on him though, given that New Zealand left arm spinner Mitchell Santner has now been ruled out of the tournament. He was supposed to play for Worcestershire earlier. What about you, Shruti? What does the tarot predict for this side?
Well, Suneer, Worcestershire have had an ideal start to this year's T20 Blast, and it seems like they may continue with the same focus and command today as well. But the cards have highlighted some points for this particular game. They have some set plans, but none of them seem to come into play. In fact, they could make the mistake of underestimating their opposition. Their batting starts off really well, but as the innings progresses, they will need to consolidate and they will really need to evaluate how to take their innings forward. Bowling too starts well, but they may find themselves having to alter their plans and taking a rather riskier approach to shake off the Yorkshire batsmen. Now, Suneer, Yorkshire have lost their opening game. How do you see them perform against a pretty strong opposition?
Look, Shruti, Yorkshire have some big ticket players in the squad, but some of them give me the sense of being more suited to the longer format of the game than T20 cricket. So much so that Adil Rashid was promoted up to number 3 in that opening defeat at the hands of Leicestershire. It wasn't that big a surprise then that they fell 54 runs short of the Leicester target in their opener, falling to their 11th defeat in 19 games to those opponents. In that sense, it might be slightly better for them against Worcestershire, having had a 3-3 win-loss record against them, Shruti.
So what do Yorkshire need to do so that they can create a slightly, somewhat upper hand?
Well, what Yorkshire need to do is to find form for Liam Plunkett and Tim Bresnan, a fast bowling duo. And if they can deliver the goods with the ball for the side on what looked like a very flat county ground pitch in Worcester, then they probably will have a chance. So both have considerable international experience. With David Willey out of this side because of an injury, it looks like the onus will be on them to deliver the goods, Shruti. In terms of the cards, how do you see Yorkshire placed in this game?
Well, Yorkshire don't have the strongest self-belief. They're just expecting things to go wrong, and that obviously isn't the right approach. But luckily for them, as the game progresses, they will appear a lot more comfortable with how to tackle a strong Worcestershire. Their batting starts well and continues through with some good individual performances. This is the portion where the opposition will really need to be more creative with the ball. Bowling from Yorkshire seems expensive and does take some time to settle, but it's the middle and end overs that could shine through for them. Suneer, who's your favourites for the game?
Shruti, the Yorkshire coach and former Aussie bowler Jason Gillespie has turned around the side's fortunes in the longer format of the game since taking over their role. but has generally found the going quite tough in the last few years of the NatWest T20 Blast. He did guide them to a runner-up's position in 2012, but since then Yorkshire have struggled to get going in this format, with Kane Williamson expected to join them only from June 9th, and Travis Head will be obviously joining them after that. I don't really see them win this one.
So, Suneer, let me clarify. You're going with Worcestershire?
Yes, I think Worcester will win this game, according to me.
Well, for me, this is going to be a really tough call because the cards indicate that both teams will be doing quite well. But I'm just a little bit more inclined towards the team that manages to adapt itself better, so it's Tara Advantage Yorkshire.
Well, we are at the opposite end of the spectrum, which is a bit of a surprise after 4 successive matches during the end of the IPL where we were kind of predicting similar results. But that's all we have time for. We'll be back with a T20 Blast game next week. But before then, we will be previewing and predicting the tri-series between West Indies, Australia and South Africa. So be sure to tune into our podcast next time as well. And until then, don't forget to subscribe. Have a good day ahead. Bye-bye.